Michigan got the win. Only Sharon Moore's second road win. Got the win on Saturday night in East Lansing. In the game, I'll tell you what, I didn't ever feel like the game was in jeopardy. I know some people disagree with me on that after the game on Saturday night on Twitter, but I never felt that it was. Michigan State put in a touchdown with under 10 seconds left to cover the spread, to cut it to 11. But in reality, this was a 3-score game. We're going to talk Overreaction Monday, the 5 things that everyone's been talking about over the last, 40 or so hours since this game was over. Michigan's got 33 days, right? Just 2 days shy of 5 weeks until beat Ohio State again. And at the end of the show, I'm going to tease a little rumor. Don't have enough information to put it out there just yet. But later this week, we are going to really break down a rumor that's out there. And if we can confirm it in totality, we will talk about that. So you want to stick around to the end of today's show. Guys, I am coming up on 18,000 subscribers on the aforementioned Twitter. So if you're a Michigan football fan yet to follow me and you use the Everything app, x.com's aka Twitter, give me a follow as at James Yoder. I'm always putting content out on there, even when we're not doing YouTube videos every single day here on the show. I'll give you guys a deal here. The first 10 people who follow me, who don't already follow me, so new followers, after this show is published, first 10 people, I will give you a follow back. Now, if you already follow me and I don't follow you, didn't give you that honor yet, no offense to you or anything like that, but go and retweet the pinned tweet on the video, which I'll keep up there probably till about Wednesday, which will be, or pinned tweet on my account, which will be this video. I'll be promoting this video. So go to my account, at James Yoder, and retweet the top tweet that you see pinned to my account promoting today's Michigan football report. And the combination of those two, I will follow 10 of you back. All right, let's jump into the overreactions. The number one ground raid offense. We coined this term a number of years ago. Other schools have air raid. Michigan has ground raid. Now check the stat out. 276 yards. This isn't something you're going to get from the blog boys. I pulled it up because we covered it earlier in the year when Michigan had 290 something. I think the final number was 286 against Nebraska after you took out and stats were redone. 286 at Nebraska. In 2022, they had 282 at Rutgers. This will be the third highest rushing total, these 276 at Michigan State, since the 2019 season, since they went for just under 300 against Illinois midway through 2019. So it's been 6 years. This is the third best performance on the road rushing for a Michigan football team. It was all because of the return of this man, Justice Haynes. Haynes our way, 26 carries, 152 yards, almost 6 yards per carry. He was a workhorse when they weren't going to Bryce Underwood. 2 touchdowns, which really just is a nice boost to his stats overall as a player and as a candidate, as a Heisman Trophy candidate, as an All-American candidate, potential Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. I think certainly he is Michigan's MVP so far this year. Now, he did have an uncharacteristic fumble that he lost in this game, but even though he lost more than a half of a game, 1.5 games, wasn't there for the Wolverines last week and missed the second half and really the second half of the second quarter, so almost 2.5 quarters against USC. He's at 857 yards now. He would be probably at 1,000 or more if he not been injured, and missed 6.5 quarters. Those 10 rushing touchdowns are a nice little touch. I mean, heck, if you count postseason, Michigan makes the playoff, let's say go beat Ohio State again, you could be up there 17, 18, 19 touchdowns, 1,400 rushing yards, 1,200 rushing yards. I think a Heisman campaign is not crazy to think about. Let's just kind of think about the teams he's playing, right? These aren't defensive juggernauts. You got Purdue under the lights night game this week. Should have plenty of opportunities to get Justice Haynes yards and in the end zone. You've got Northwestern after the bye week, right? All right, they've been playing okay. They lost to Nebraska. And then you've got Maryland, right? Maryland's never been known for their defense. That could potentially, because they've got a great true freshman quarterback themselves, that could be a shootout. That's on the road. That is a windy environment. I was there 2 years ago in November, the week before Ohio State, and it is not one that I think Michigan's just going to roll in there and score a 31-20 win. So Haynes could have the opportunity to have 7, 8, 9 more touchdowns just in the regular season if he ends up with a Hassan Haskins, with a Donovan Edwards-like performance against Ohio State. Don't tell me, and Michigan maybe makes the Big Ten championship game, right? If all that plays out, Don't tell me he can't and will not be a Heisman candidate, won't be a Heisman finalist. Ground rate offense is getting it done for Michigan. Love what I'm seeing from Haynes. Love what I'm seeing in Marshall. And I really do think that if you consider a bowl game and you consider, obviously, Marshall's not going anywhere. And if it's a playoff game, Haynes, of course, will play in that. I think that you could have 2,000-yard rushers for Michigan. Marshall has a little bit ways to go with 4 games left. He would need to get over 100 yards game to get it in the 12, but you've got Big Ten championship game possibly playoff, bowl game, whatever. So in general, he's got at least 5 games to go. Would be tough. He'd have to probably break off like 150 in one of those games if Haynes was getting a breather or something like that. Michigan just piling it on like they've done in the past. But this was the best game for both of these guys combined. They're averaging both over 5 yards a carry, 15 touchdowns combined. I think Michigan has the best 1-2 combo in all of college football at the running back position. And frankly, this could be a generational pair when we look back at it in years to come. Alexa Hassan Haskins, Blake Corum, and Donaven Edwards, maybe just in 2022 and beyond. Let's go back and ask you this question. Will Justice Haynes be a Heisman finalist? They typically take 5 guys. Some years they've taken 4. Other years they've taken 3. I think in general, as long as just someone's not running away with it, they're going to take 5 players. Will Justice Haynes be a Heisman finalist? Comment yes or no down below. I'm going with yes. Semaj Morgan was trending on Twitter Saturday, which is a pretty tough thing to do. Top 10 trending Twitter topic. Semaj, I saw the people screenshot reply to me. He's up to number 7, Semaj Morgan. I didn't see that myself, but I saw him number 10, number 9, pretty much the entire first half into the second half against Michigan State on Saturday night. Was there a World Series game Saturday, Jack? It was, right? While there was a World Series game on, while LSU and Texas A&M were playing, while there was other college football games on. That was just insane to me. He had, I think, the worst game I can remember from a single Michigan football player, potentially in my entire life. Let's just talk about some of the worst. These are just 4 of the plays that everybody saw and everybody was tweeting about. I mean, just go search Semaj Morgan on Twitter, go to latest and scroll back. It's hundreds of tweets. A fair caught a punt at the 3-yard line. Sharon Moore's been asked about that multiple times. He tackled Justice Haynes on a long run, which people said, hey, he could have broke one more tackle, been gone for a touchdown, right? Haynes just threw him to the ground, shoved him to the ground. He was sick of his crap. Semaj has absolutely no field awareness. Perfect pass. We're going to show you a photo of it coming up in a few moments. Perfect pass. Hit him right in the face. He was so out of it. He cut through 3 guys. Bryce Underwood, not making the greatest throws lately, but right down the pipe, in between 3 defenders, and Semaj smoked him in the face. And that was a brutal one. And he got 2 yards, right? I thought it was 1. It turned out to be 2 officially on a punt he fielded with 14.5 yards of cushion. The defenders in there, Michigan guys blocking him. And instead of cutting up field, making one guy miss, getting 12, 15, 16 yards, he decides to run sideways and get 2 yards. It was unbelievable. The worst game I've ever seen from a Michigan football player. The fact that you were trending when you have 0 catches and 0 return yards, what he had at the time when I first saw him trending, is unbelievable, right? It's so difficult to do because the only thing people can be tweeting about is the negative things you're doing when you have no contributions. It's all negative. Tough to see from Semaj Morgan. I think he's the worst starter of any player in any Big Ten team right now. Up and down the lineups, offense, defense, special teams, 18-team conference. That is tough to see. Cyril Moore was asked about him on Saturday, then talked about him in his press conference here on Monday as well. He says stuff happens, shit happens. In practice, he practices high level, practices hard, yada, yada, yada. We challenge him. There's competition at wide receiver. Now, there is some rumor mills out there, some conversation that I'll talk about here in a second, that JB Brown chewed out Semaj after refielding that punt inside the 5-yard line before halftime. That'll be the next story we will talk about here on the Michigan Football Report, but did want to give you guys some updates on the best Michigan football gear you can buy at the best prices. The long sleeve hoodie, right? This is one of the coaches' hoodies with the maize, elbow down. This one is awesome. Normally $85, only $42.29. Should be $42.27, Jack, to honor the 2011 or 2021 Michigan-Ohio State game. Chatsports.com/hoodie sale. That's chatsports.com/hoodie michigan.com/hoodie sale. Go get that price right now. It's in the second paragraph of today's video down in the description. And Michigan basketball went to Madison Square Garden, New York City, went and took out a top 5 St. John's team, a matchup of top 10 teams. Now, it didn't count for some reason. It was an exhibition game, but Michigan took St. John's, number 5 in the AP poll, to overtime and got the win on Saturday. Chatsports.com/MishBball, this long sleeve Jordan brand with a Michigan down the sleeve, go blue with the basketball O. On sale right now. We're only $45, $25.19, so $20 off on that one. Both the links to that are in the second paragraph of today's description, so click more below the video. You'll see the full description or the comments. Go into the comments or screenshot this right now. Get yourself a great deal. It's Christmas in 2 months, right? Less than 2 months, the 27th of October. Save these gifts for Christmas for the ones that you want to buy presents for that are Michigan football fans or basketball at a very cheap price. Let's keep going with Semaj Morgan, the rumor mill. Saw and was told that J.B. Brown, Michigan's special teams coordinator, not sure what he's coordinating lately, chewed Semaj out at halftime in the locker room, was talking to him as they went into the locker room apparently, and then really laid into him for being at the 10-yard line and then just drifting back and catching the ball at the 3-yard line. Just like, don't they teach that, Jack? You played football in high school. I played football in middle school, elementary school. It's like you put your heels at the 10-yard line. If the ball is going over, you do this. Maybe the ball's here. You do this. You run over here to distract the defense to make them think you're going over there, right? So the ball, they don't have a chance to get it going into the end zone. You don't back up and catch it, right? People say, oh, he's made plays. I saw Don Thomas on Twitter. Sure, Semaj is great football in front of him. Well, do you remember Don Thomas, okay? Do you remember the Rose Bowl against Alabama, right? Now, Semaj wasn't the one who almost cost Michigan the game at the end, right? That was Jake Thrash. Now, why was Jake Thrash in that game? Because Semaj Morgan, who had won the punt job, as a true freshman, which was insane to think about, knowing what we know now of him as a junior, he muffed one in that game, fumbled it, put Alabama in a position. They scored a touchdown, so they couldn't trust him anymore in that game. So you had to put a walk-on wide receiver in the game late in it, and what Thrash do? He muffed one himself. I'm so glad it was Thrash and not Semaj Morgan, because if it was Semaj Morgan, he wouldn't have any opportunity to make a play there. The ball would have been at the 2-yard line. Instead of jumping on it like Thrash did, Semaj probably would have picked it up and got tackled and thrown the ball at the end zone, or ran into the end zone to try and get out to the outside, got tackled, safety, or fumbled, touchdown Alabama. Michigan would have lost the game. No national championship. Sherman talked about him as a punt returner as well on his Monday press conference. We'll see as we go, though, yada, yada, yada. The fair catch of the 5, he's just got to be better there. I wish these coaches would just kind of, give it like it is. That's unacceptable. That's not what we told him. I know, don't throw your players under the bus. If you're going to keep putting in the game, somebody's got to get thrown under the bus. Is it Semaj? Right? He's going to lose a spot. You're going to tell people what you're seeing, or you're just going to kind of BS it. Got to be better there. Then is on you. If Sharon Moore keeps putting Semaj Morgan in a game, he is eventually going to cost Michigan a win that they could have had, that they should have had. And I just don't know what we're doing out there. I mean, I think if you put 2 tight ends, a running back, and 2 wide receivers, Marsh and McCulley in there, that's fine, right? You need to go to 1 tight end. Like you've got other guys in there. You've got 2 running backs. You've got a fullback. I don't understand why you have to have 3 wide receivers in the game if one of them has to have Semaj Morgan. If only 2 can potentially play for this team, then put the 2 in there, run different formations. We saw we saw a few other players in there on Saturday, but still, Semaj had like 30-plus snaps. Didn't see as much of him in the second half. It just cannot continue. We are coming up on 36,000 subscribers, so make sure if you guys have yet to do so, subscribe to the Michigan Football Report, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Where did I put those photos, Semaj? Is that laid around with the Bryce Underwood stuff? Yeah, it is, right? I've got some photos that you guys are going to want to see, so subscribe to the channel of Semaj in the passing game when we talk about the passing game as an overreaction later on in the show, so continue to watch. You will not want to see these photos because they are, frankly, mind-blowing. How about Jimmy Rolder, though? Jimmy Rolder was somebody a couple weeks ago, USC game, I was not super high on. And no one admits they're wrong like I do, because I was wrong. I said he might be too slow to play linebacker, might be getting too many snaps, might need Cole Sullivan in there. He has had 2 amazing games, the best defender in the field for Michigan last week and this week. And this is a play I want everyone to see. This is quite amazing, because some Michigan fan was talking trash, or Michigan State fan, whoever it was. Oh, yeah, that wasn't Rolder. He didn't even make a play, blah, blah. It was Rolder, right? If you see, there's 2 defensive linemen down. This is on 4th down for Michigan State. And Aiden Childs saw that, and he tried to take a step left and get in that spot right there. Jimmy Rolder, go back and watch the game. This is back-to-back drives to Michigan State where Jimmy Rolder makes a stop. He hits that hole between the guard and the tackle and just takes down Aiden Childs for like a yard and a half loss on this play. The prior possession for Michigan State, right? The prior possession, they went for it on 4th down as well. Childs rolled out to his right side, tried to hit a tight end underneath, who was right in there, getting that hand in before the ball to bat it down. Jimmy Rolder, what a game for him. Saw Mel Kiper talking about him over the weekend as somebody who could get drafted in the first 2 days. That's the 2nd or 3rd round potentially. I don't think he's a first rounder, but maybe, which is frankly something wildly surprising given the fact that he was not a true starter until, 5 games ago, 6 games ago? He didn't start the season in his 4th year in Michigan as a starter. Now, I believe he can come back next year. I'll have to double check on that. I didn't look before the show, but, being a 4th year player, 1/2 of a year starter so far, a little premature, I think, for him to be getting NFL draft talk, but Mel Kiper thinks so. I think that Rolder would certainly look back, but I'd love to have him for another year if he is eligible. I'll check back on that, and we will certainly discuss him later on in the week. Overreaction number 4, what is the deal with the tight ends on the road just completely disappearing after you didn't have Marlin Klein and Hogan Hansen? You get a bunch of great play from the 3rd and the 4th string tight end. You go on the road again. You got Sharon Moore back again for his 4th game back after suspension. And again, on the road, absolutely no involvement from the tight ends in the passing game. The only pass that was caught was from Marlin Klein, which was on Michigan's last drive. I think it was the play before Semaj got smoked in the face with the ball, and it was like a 6-yard quick out, whatever, and he caught the ball, went out of bounds, maybe gained a yard or 2 after that. It's surprising. It's concerning, right? Marlin Klein, he thought he would have a big year after that first game, 6 catches, around 90 yards or so, but he hasn't. And there's really no passing, even attempts. There doesn't seem to be anything schemed to the tight ends. It's perplexing when Michigan goes on the road, Oklahoma and USC, and of course, here with Michigan State. And 4 games so far, only 6 catches on the road, 22 there. You look back to Jim Harbaugh, right? Jim Harbaugh had these same tendencies, not necessarily the tight end tendencies, but it'd be like, oh man, we're doing so many good things at home. You go the next week, you'd be like, what changed? How did things change so drastically? Just the venue of the game. It's not like guys are dropping the ball. The guys that do this, we're not even calling plays for them. We're not even running the same style of scheme when we go on the road. I don't get it. Harbaugh clearly tightened some of that up and figured that out the last few years of his Michigan tenure, but we're seeing a lot of these road negative tendencies from Sharon Moore that we saw with Jim Harbaugh, that you see with a lot of coaches, but I just didn't understand the offensive game plan on the road on Saturday night at all. It seems like, well, nothing we're doing is working. Sure, we can't pass the ball. We can't do this. We're just going to run the ball every single time in the second half, except for 2 passing attempts against Michigan State. Number 5 is right there, Bryce Underwood. The passing game still isn't there. Only completed 8 of 17 passes on Saturday against Michigan State. 2 passing attempts for Bryce Underwood in the second half. I'm going to ask you guys this question before we break it down a little further. Grade Bryce Underwood after 8 games, knowing that he's a true freshman, knowing that he is now starting 3 redshirt freshmen on the offensive line with injuries and now guys shifting around. Blake Frazier got the start on Saturday at left tackle. So young offense, maybe the youngest. I know Michigan's the youngest team in the Big Ten. Could they be the youngest offense? I would say they have to be, right? With the true freshman Andrew Marsh. But you've got maybe the best running back in the country, maybe the best backup running back in the country. 4 serviceable tight ends. Grade Bryce Underwood after 8 games. I'm giving him a B, but I really like to see a little bit more from the passing game. Here were his stats against Michigan State. 47% completion percentage for 86 yards. That's not getting it done, folks. That is just not getting it done. But they didn't really give him a chance. I don't know what this whole requirement, I don't know if it's Underwood that wants to go to it or if this is just the passing strategy, but we never just seem to scheme a guy open where someone just streaking across the field or dumped underneath or a tight end releases or anything like that. Any pass to the wide receiver, outside of that one to Andrew Marsh on Saturday where Bryce just kind of like cocked back and threw it and caught him in between the zone, every pass to Marsh or McCulley seemed to be down the sideline, didn't go back shoulder, went front shoulder, trying to go over the top and almost requiring your wide receiver to just have an acrobatic, amazing catch over top of a defensive player. And then he's got to get his feet in. It's like low percentage passing attempts. And we're getting low percentage output, 86 yards, 47% completion percentage. Jack, before we throw this one on screen, can we toss that full screen? Can we toss this one full screen? I really think it would be emphasized if I can get the full Semaj Morgan gamut, because this team, folks, toss that up there, Jack. Went wrong way for me. Look at this, right? This is right before halftime. Had Michigan completed this, they probably score another time before half and don't go into it. And that is the Bryce Underwood. You see Underwood's helmet over there on the right side. Two offensive linemen there on the left side of your screen. But this is the flip, right? Cut it right between two Michigan State linemen here on this next version of it, right at midfield, right? I think it's two linebackers. You got a corner there, and then right in front of the safety. That ball was absolutely lasered in between two defenders, right to Semaj Morgan. And what happens? What does he do? The ball, he cuts in and just turns, and doesn't have his hands up ready for the catch. He turns, and it's like this. And then tries to put his hands up at the last second. Smoked him right in the face. Smoked him right in the face. Unacceptable. Just comical. And frankly, I mean, guys, this offense, this quarterback, this team, this fan base deserves better wide receiver play. Andrew Marsh has been a godsend. Donaven McCulley has been serviceable, but certainly not living up to the expectations that we thought. But when you're playing a guy 30-plus snaps every game like Semaj Morgan, I just don't know what to tell you. Michigan needs to make a major push for some wide receivers in the transfer portal. Gosh, coming up in 2 months now, right? Coming up in 2 months. And if not, this passing game will not develop to the levels that Michigan needs it to be to win another national championship, to optimize for Bryce Underwood's 3 years, maybe 4, hopefully 4, as a Michigan football quarterback, starting quarterback from day one. And I'll tell you about the rumor I teased earlier in the show. It's out there. I heard everything that happened with it. I got the inside scoop. I don't know enough about it to really speculate, to put my name on it, but I know where others are speculating. Got some mild confirmation, but we'll talk about more midweek. NIL leaders at a certain Big Ten school that might lose their quarterback, their redshirt sophomore quarterback, who are also maybe from the same home state as Bryce Underwood, you never know, are putting all their chips together to make an NIL push, backdoor NIL push, because you can't legally do it, front door until he puts his name in the transfer portal himself for Bryce Underwood if their quarterback goes pro, which many expect him to do after starting for 1 year for this program. So we're going to get more information, talk about that midweek, so make sure you subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. And reminder, follow me on Twitter, aka X. First 10 new followers, I'll follow you back, or existing followers who retweet my pinned tweet promoting today's video. So 10 followers from me, as long as you guys participate and either follow me or retweet the pinned tweet. We will be back with another Michigan Football Report on Tuesday or probably Wednesday. Till then, go Blue.